and you have joined Stamp with Teah. I am an independent demonstrator located in Vancouver, Washington, in the United States. And I am here today to demonstrate some sunflower cards. And I had a really interesting thought. So, you know, everybody has their own way of crafting. Some people like really simple cards, like literally they like to take a piece of paper, stamp an image on it, fold it in half, write a message on the inside and stick it in an envelope. And that's awesome. Or they like to add lots and lots of layers of interest to the front of their card and fold it and write a message and stick it in the envelope, and that's fine too. Some people like to craft using kits that somebody else has designed, and that's awesome too. And some people like to take those kits and they like to alter them and see what else they can get out of them. And they'll take every single little piece out of that kit and they will say, sorry, something on my tongue, and they will see how many cards can they get out of that kit. So maybe the kit, I don't even know how many cards this kit's supposed to make, but say it's 8. Well, hi Anne, thank you for joining me. But some people will take all the supplies that were put in this box for those 8 cards and they'll get 32 cards out of it, because they'll use bits and pieces to make other things. And that's pretty awesome too. Well, Paper Pumpkin is a subscription kit through Stampin' Up. And I'm not really a kit person. I'm one of those people that like to do lots and lots of layers and stuff, and I like to do my own designing, and I have a design background, so I'm sure that plays into all of it. I don't have anything against the kits. It's just not where I get my joy. But the August Paper Pumpkin came out. And because I'm a demonstrator, I've decided that I'm going to get a paper pumpkin every month. And some months I do something with it and some months I don't. Well, this month, August came out. So the way the subscription works is you subscribe at the starting on the 11th of the month before, and you have until the 10th of the actual month to subscribe. And they never show you what all is in the kit. They'll tell you if it's a craft kit or if it's a card kit. They'll tell you how many cards. They'll tell you how many matching envelopes. And that sort of thing. So they'll give you a rundown of what's in there, but you won't see the actual design. There's an actual fan club base around the surprise of these paper pumpkin kits. People love them. Well, for August, people started seeing what they didn't get. Let me reword that. They started seeing what came in the actual paper pumpkin kit, and people went berserk. They fell in love with it. But these aren't even shipped out until after the subscription date ends. So it ends on the 10th, and then on the 11th is when the new one can be ordered. Well, this came out. Everybody knew it was going to be sunflowers. We've all seen what the box looked like, but we hadn't seen what the inside looked like. Matter of fact, I've taken the plastic off of this, but I haven't opened this up yet. I've seen what people have made online, but people were so frustrated that they hadn't bought this and they can't order it now. So unless you find somebody that ordered extras and you can buy extras from them, you can't get it. So that gave me the idea that I should make a couple of these just to show you what Paper Pumpkin is all about. But then I'm also going to show you how to make a sunflower card from, oh, the light's awfully bright. You'll see it better when I turn it down. But how to make a sunflower card out of one of our stamp sets that you can still order. It's in the annual catalog. You don't have to miss out on playing with sunflowers. And maybe what you see online from here will give you inspiration in designing a card from a stamp set. So I'm going to make 2 of the cards. I'm just going to follow the design that comes in here, and I'm going to show you, when I turn the camera down, I'm going to show you the instructions that come with, the supplies that come with. And then, so I'm going to make 2 of these. I think there's 3 different designs in here, so I'm just going to pick 2. And then I'm going to demonstrate for you making, oh good, yay! I'm glad that you're looking to see if I can get that close enough for you to see. Yeah, it's pretty, and it doesn't have to be hard, okay? So that's my idea. That's where I came up with the idea. Normally right now with a mini catalog and Sale-A-Bration, I would be demonstrating something from the mini catalog, and instead this is coming from the annual catalog. But you know what? I think instead of people feeling bummed out that they missed out on this, for the ones that didn't get it, that we should focus on what we can still do. But in the meantime, I do want to show you Paper Pumpkin, because I really haven't spent enough time showing people Paper Pumpkin. Before I do that, I'm not going to belabor that we've only got 9 days left of Sale-A-Bration. So if there's any of the freebies that you want, you better get on it, because time's ticking away really, really quickly. I have a stack here. You can probably see this stack of things I have back here. Sorry. And I am just double checking that my live is working. Well, obviously it is working fine, so I can let the computer time out. Let me get these dies out of the way, move my keyboard out of the way, and let's see. Okay, so Sale-A-Bration. I'm even going to do this before I turn the camera down. There are several things in the Sale-A-Bration flyer, which I didn't grab. Oops. All right. Sale-A-Bration flyer, this is what originally came out, and then after this came out and had been out for a while, and we actually ran out of a couple of things that are in here, a secondary list of freebies came out. So I'm just going to do a quick hold up and show you, what fell? Nothing important. So these are the freebies that were in the original flyer. All of these freebies are good through the end of August with qualifying purchases. So it's purchases in increments of 50. Some of these items you can get for free with $50 purchase. Some of them you can get for free with $100 purchase. I'm not going to spend a lot of time at this because I really want to get to crafting, but because we are down to crunch time on Sale-A-Bration, I got to show you. So there is some silver and gold 6x6 inch specialty paper. There's, I don't know if you can see the stripe. That stripe is a gold foil, and then there's another page in here that has a silver foil, and then there's 2 more pages that have silver dots or gold dots. And there is a total of 24 pages in this, and you get this for free with a $50 purchase. Hippest Hippos is a stamp set that you can get for free with a $50 purchase. There are coordinating dies that the last time I checked were still available. There's a bajillion pieces. Can you see that? There's umbrellas and sunglasses and flowers and a boat and a wash tub and snorkel gear and hearts and all kinds of stuff in here, and dies to cut out the hippos. You can get that for free with a $50 purchase. So if you wanted both of these, you'd need to spend $100. Then we have Stylish Sketches stamp set. You get for free with a $50 purchase. Amazing Phrasing. If I remember correctly, there's 17. Yep, 17 stamps in here. These mix and match You get this with a $100 purchase. There are 17 stamps in here, so that's pretty nice. All right, and then we have some designer series paper. I'm not going to open it up, but there's a pack here. It's 12 by 12. You get this for free with a $50 purchase. This coordinates with the, I know it's on here, Ringed with Nature bundle. So that's the bundle that has the, oh, well, I don't have the die sitting here, but this embossing folder, and then there's that's a hybrid folder that cuts out rings and stuff. Anyway, this all coordinates with that. Free with the $50 purchase. That's gone, that's gone. And then there is this stamp set called Wonderful World, and this 12 by 12 coordinating designer series paper with these beautiful florals. That duo you can get for free with a $100 purchase. Okay, so that is what was in that flyer, and as well as if you host a party or you have sales over, let me double check. I want to say it was $300. Yes, $300. Sales over purchase of over $300, or a bunch of people, you know, have a party together. The hostess can get this perfect pomegranate stamp set for free. And this is actually really interesting. I've seen some beautiful things. If you're not so sure about this, Pinterest it. There's some really beautiful ideas. Okay, setting all this on the ground. Just a few items left to show you. So then they came out with an additional 10 items. I'm not going to show you the foils. I'm sure that you can picture what a 12 by 12 inch set of silver foils or brushed metallic foils look like. The picture is pretty self-explanatory. I have here the Timber 3D embossing folder, and oh goodness, if you saw my gnomes demonstration the other day, see the background here? That's where I applied ink on the embossing folder and then ran it through. This is that timber embossing folder. Then one of the other items, okay, you can get that for free with a $50 purchase. There is a gingham embossing folder. There's a seashell embossing folder. Then there's Flowers of Home dies. I don't have that to show you. Here are the Daffodil dies. So these not only cut out the flowers from the stamp set, but you can also make some 3D-ish flowers, and you can go back through my YouTube videos and you can find videos where I've done that. So you can see that. Trying to get all this stuff out of the way. Here is the Spots and Dots die, which is really cool. I've seen this done tonal. I've seen it used as a mask so that you can, apply ink through the dots and make like rainbow effects and stuff like that. I've also seen it where you put another color behind this and you get the see-through effect. I've seen some really cute things with this. That is free with a $100 purchase. Then there are the Aspen Tree dies, and this is what that set looks like. So this weird looking item is a tree branch. And here is an example. I used these the other day when I did the gnomes demonstration. So that this in the background here, that's that Aspen Trees die. That's this big oval that you see here. You can get those dies for free with a $100 purchase. And then there's some treat boxes. So anyway, when you make a purchase, once you've hit an increment of $50, they will there's a prompting before you check out for you to pick what your free items are. So that's all I'm going to say about that because I have other stuff to get to today. Oh. by the way, if you didn't catch my video on this the other day, that is up on my YouTube channel, and my blog has been updated as well with all the cutting instructions and the product details. All right, let's get all this out of the way. Oh, there was one more item I have to tell you about, and that is if you want to join Stampin' Up! To take advantage of the discount or join a community of crafters or whatever your reason is, I am looking to expand my team. My team is the Paper Blessings. I feel like we have a fairly tight-knit team, and it's, I don't know, I love them. My team is a team of hobby demonstrators. I'm the only one that's running a business, and that's fine. The majority, well over 90% of the people that join Stampin' Up! Are what are considered hobby demonstrators. And that means that they just joined for the personal discount, and there's nothing wrong with that. But right now the special is you can get you can customize $125 worth of product for $99. You get free shipping on it. And through August 31st, they're going to send you this planner. Let's see if I can get that close enough for you to see. Not really, the light is just really bright. It's this beautiful planner. You can see, notice how big it is compared to my head. So it's a sizable planner. You can see I've already got a bunch of pages in it, as well as a little notebook. And there's all of this that still came with it too. There's more pages. You can totally customize this. There's stickers. There's a stamp set. I'm going to set this to one side. You've now been told all about it. And, whew, I think I can turn the camera down now. And let's open up a paper pumpkin. Let me get some of these items out of the way. I have a couple of supporting characters here. All right, turning the camera down, let's get to crafting. So the first thing, in case you missed the beginning of this video, I'm going to show you a couple, I'm going to assemble just per the instructions, I'm not even going to do alternates, a couple of cards from the August paper pumpkin. And if this is something that you've seen online, you've seen people posting, a lot of people have been posting about this, don't need to worry. I'm going to show you how to make one that doesn't need the paper pumpkin. It's from a stamp set that we have in the catalog. Easy peasy, we got you covered. If you love sunflowers, you will not be disappointed. I'm going to turn the camera down now. And why don't I see my turner? Oh, there it is. And straighten out the desk a little bit. Push some things out of the way. Grab out my paper snips. Okay. Let's see, just trying to make enough room here. So here I am, I'm stamped with Teah. Here is my online store, and here is my August host code. And friends, if you are not already receiving my newsletter, you might want to. In the next couple of days, I am going to be posting a BOGO sale. And yes, you can do a buy one, get one, and get your Sale-A-Bration items. How exciting would that be? All right, let's explore a paper pumpkin. So it comes wrapped in this beautiful tissue. It comes a little different every time. And I should mention, I need to drink of water. I should mention that so Paper Pumpkin is a subscription. You can subscribe to 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. I subscribed for 12 months. And when I did that, my purchase qualified for Sale-A-Bration items. So something to keep in mind. And we have a whole set of kits collections too. Say you don't want to be surprised by what you're going to get, but you do like the idea of kits. We have a whole kit selection as well. Okay, So they say, make the most of your free gift. I believe that these foil sheets are the free gift this time. Follow these easy steps to make, see, they tell us how to make this card. They're also going to tell us how to make 3 other cards. So I can't wait to share that with you. It tells you which card base to use. It tells you how to cut this. It tells you, okay, so there's lots there. You flip that flyer over. So there's a flyer in every box that comes, and they're telling you about the next 3 paper pumpkins. And this is saying, feeling stressed about getting your holiday crafting done? With Paper Pumpkin, there's no need. We deliver everything you need to your doors so you have a stress-free holiday season. We have a little bit of everything for your holiday projects, from spooky treat packaging, which I believe is in here, to coordinating holiday cards and gift tags. Breeze through the season with a 3-month Paper Pumpkin subscription. So, there you go. So we've got these beautiful foil sheets. Here is the stamp set. Let's see, what can I do to make this more visible to you? So there's leaves, there's the sunflower, there's a bee, oh, there's 2 bees. There's the center of the sunflower. Then we've got hello, one of a kind. Wishing you so much happiness. And thank you. So a super nice photopolymer stamp set. Now, this is not my first paper pumpkin. In your very first paper pumpkin, you will also receive a block for mounting and mounting your stamps to stamp with. But they only do that in the first one. And then I've received crushed curry and soft suede ink spots. So usually there's only 1 ink spot. Looks like this time we've got 2. And then here is the kit. See, it's all packaged up. So I'm going to set this box aside. And carefully with my paper snips, just score my plastic here. So Paper Pumpkin is considered an all-inclusive kit. So these little dots have adhesive on them. So you peel this off. There's adhesive on the other side, and then that backer peels off. Then here are some dimensionals. Okay, look at these envelopes. Oh my goodness. Oh my friends, these are gorgeous. Look at those envelopes. No wonder everybody's so in love. Okay, so there's 4 of that design. And, oh wait, is that 5? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why do I feel like there's, oh, there's 4. And then here, I'm counting 5 of this other, ooh, oh, it's the same design. Okay, so there's 9. Then, there's a card front. Look at how beautiful that is without doing anything else to it. And then we have some card bases. So there's this beautiful card base. You fold right here. Okay, so there's 3 of that. There's 3 of this green, and then there are 3 of this sunflower. So see, this is going to fold like this. So I think I'm going to pick this card and this card, because I told you I'm going to do 2 cards. And here are the instructions. Wow. Okay, this is beautiful. Let's see. I'm looking, some of this is upside down and some of it's not. So if I turn this way, so this shows you how to this shows you where to put your elements. Let's see. Sorry, I'm still looking. Still finding everything. Okay, there's more here in the back. Oh my goodness. There's so, oh my gosh, look at all the bees. Oh, this is beautiful. No wonder everybody's going crazy over this set. Okay. Well, that's okay. I think the card I've designed today is awfully pretty too. So let's go with, we're going to go with this. So for this card, I'm not going to pull everything apart. So a lot of times when you are making a kit, you would lay out all 3 of these in a pile and everything that goes with it, all 3 of the next one. You would get all organized, right? But I'm only making 1 of 2 of the 3 designs, and they actually have that 4th one in there. So for this card, I'm using 1 of these, and somebody's car alarm is going off outside. Looks like we use 1 of those. It looks like 2 of the bees. Are they all the same? I think they're all the same, so I'll just, so these are pre-printed, these bees. All right, so there is that, and it even tells me which stamp set to use. And then, what was the other one I picked? Right there. Sorry, getting myself organized. Then I picked this card. So for this one, it shows that I need 2 more bees. These will go together super quick, and then we can get on to the card that I designed. And then it shows 1 of these little strips. See, these are all perforated, ready to be pulled apart. Oh, and it looks like we're using 1 of these. So they've got some specialty vellum here. So I'm just showing you how a paper pumpkin works. They don't always have the free gifts with them. And it looks like for both of these, I'm going to use the soft suede ink spot. Okay, so all of this other stuff I can set aside. Make some room here. I'm just going to grab out 2 envelopes and set all of the rest aside. Now if I wanted to, I could pull this out, but it looks like the 2 cards that I happen to pick already have some of this honeycomb kind of effect going on. So I'm sliding all of that back over in the box. Okay, so here are the instructions, and they literally show you where to put your adhesives, etc. So, and they show you which stamp to use. Okay, get that out of the way. A filming desk might not be the best, the ideal situation for setting up for a kit, but this is what I chose to do, just because so many people were kind of heartbroken about missing out. So let's start with the green one. I'm going to burnish my score line. What a beautiful, beautiful kit. And there's several kits. Like there's some kits that are for males. There's some kits that are for birthdays. There's some kits that are have no stamping. There are kits, but Paper Pumpkin tends to have a kind of a collection of everything. All right. So they show me using their dots. They're mini glue dots that have adhesive back on it. Oops, where did it go? All right. It stuck to the tip of my thumb. I couldn't get it to stick to the paper, but now it is stuck to the tip of my thumb. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to pick these up and put them where I need them. I love my Take Your Pick tool. Okay, so now I can just take those backers off and it will leave the adhesive. See if you can see it or not. Let's see, I'm going to look in the light or in the camera. Can you see the adhesive stuck right there? So that's what happens after you take away the backer. Just makes a mini glue dot. So I love sunflowers. I have a big silk sunflower bouquet that I put on my front door every summer. For my birthday I received, which was earlier this month, I received several sunflowers in bouquets. And I'm just going to center this like such. Then here is the label that they have me stamping my sentiment on. Let's see, I need to open up my ink spot. So I'm going to use the sides of my, this is probably horrifying some people, I'm going to use the sides of my paper snips to score my paper, the seal. There we go. Going to find, they say one of a kind is the one that fits on here. Yep. Let's see, I have a block. And I'm going to, because this is the first time I'm using this, I'm going to wipe this off on my chamois real quick to make sure there's no finishing solution on there that would keep my ink from properly sticking. So I have a pre-wetted chamois that I use for cleaning off all my stamps as I'm crafting. It looks like I'm on there. And I have I like to use my Stampin' Pearson mat when I stamp. I feel like I get a better image. I don't feel like I got a great impression. I'm going to actually grab another one of these and do it again. So see, they give us 4. I only needed 3 for their particular design. And I'm trying to decide which one of these I'm gonna use for the other card. All right, Let me try this again. This time when I stamp it, I'm going to stamp on my, am I even in the frame? I'm sorry everybody. Let me fix that. I am going to stamp on my grid paper first. That looks much better. Just tapping that on there, making sure I got the whole thing, and then hopefully that's straight. Yes! Putting my cap back on my ink real quick. All right, so then according to the instructions, they have me putting 2 dimensionals on the back of this. They even show you where to put them and how many to use. Now, I tend to like a lot of dimensionals. That is my way. But in this case, I'm going to follow the instructions. And I'm going to pull this up and see if you can actually see it or not. So see, here's the back of the tag, and they tell you where to put the dimensionals. And they have you putting dimensionals on the bees as well. Sorry, I know this isn't terribly exciting, but I really wanted to introduce Paper Pumpkin, and it seemed like this particular kit might be a good way to do that. But then we will get on to, so I'm going to set this right here, and then I'm going to take these 2 bees and put dimensionals on the back of them. So they have 1 bee over here in the flowers. And they have another one over here on the sentiment. And there, the card is finished. That's how easy that was. They literally supply everything, and isn't that a beautiful card? And don't you have somebody in your life that would love to receive this envelope with their name on it, with that card in it? I think we all know somebody that would like to receive that. All right, I'm going to make one other card real quick. So I selected this one. I'm going to grab my bone folder again, burnish that fold line so we have a nice sharp crease. They have, where did it go? There was a specialty. Oh, it's here somewhere. I know I pulled it out. Wonder if it hit the ground. It is vellum, so it will be hard to see. And of course I have a gray background. Looking on the ground, I don't see it. Just gonna reach into my kit and grab another. They gave me 6. I only needed 3. Well, I think. I don't know what the 3rd card needed, but we have all those special gold that could have been used as well. Could be used as well. Okay. So according to their instructions, I need to stamp the sentiment, wishing you so much happiness, on a label. So I'm going to do that. And again, your very first paper pumpkin, you will receive a block that all of these stamps fit on. Wishing you so much happiness. I am going to wipe that off with my chamois, and then before I stamp it on this little piece of this tag that they've provided me, I'm going to stamp on my grid paper and make sure I get a good impression. Nope. Wipe it off again, dry it. Oops. All right. Trying to get to the card, the one that I designed. I will be putting my, I'm going to do a sample better. I am going to be putting my BOGO sale up on my, advertising it through my newsletter first, and then whatever doesn't sell in 3 days, I will put online. Actually, excuse me, I said that wrong. 1 day. I'm going to advertise it for the people on my newsletter first, or make it available to my people on my newsletter first for 1 day, and then I'm going to open it up to everybody else after that. The whole thing will only last for 3 days. Because a BOGO sale is kind of time consuming. Okay. We are stamped, ready to assemble things according to the instructions. So the instructions say that I'm going to use 2 mini glue dots to attach this to the card, and then I'm going to attach this on top of it, and then I am going to put this on top of that. So I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use my take your pick tool to pick up a couple of these glue dots, and I'm going to put one there, and one here. Take off those backers. And then attach let's see, I feel one, they're there. Just needed to find them. Then mini glue dots again on the back of this strip. Take those backers off. If I can get a hold of them. There we are. And put this strip right through the center of that vellum. Then put 2 dimensionals on the back of the sentiment. Did you know you can use your take your pick tool to remove those papers off of the dimensionals, not off of those mini glue dots? There is that. Now I need to add the 2 bees, and they show me putting the bees one up here and one down here. So I need to put dimensionals on those. Almost done with the second card. So you can imagine if you had all of your supplies organized, how fast you could put together all of these cards. And then there's plenty of supplies left over for you to make more. You would just need to make your own card bases. Or buy the note cards and envelopes that come with, that you can buy from Stampin' Up. Let's see. This one is going to sit up here. And this one is going to sit down here. And there we are. We're done with our second card. See how quick that was? So, I hope I have shown you enough to make you be interested in the paper pumpkin kits, if that's something that you like. If you still aren't sure, look it up on Facebook. There's several fan clubs. It's called Paper Pumpkin Fan Club, where you can find lots of extra information. All right, I am now put all of this aside and get to this card that I designed in case you didn't get that sunflower paper pumpkin kit. All right, I think I have cleared up my space. So there were a couple of things I wanted to show you. So you saw in that paper pumpkin kit that they had bees, they had that honeycomb shape, they had sunflowers, there was green, there was yellow, and there were other colors as well. I wanted to show you a couple of ideas about making a sunflower card. So thankfully we have this embossing folder that is called Hive 3D embossing folder, and as you can see, it makes that that hexagon shape, that hive look. I wanted to show you what the other side looks like. So this side here is made from, see where it says Stamping Up? That's the face side. Or if you look at the back side, is what you would see from the, and this makes this little bubble effect. So just wanted to show you, you've got two different textures that you can take advantage of with this one folder. That was one thing I wanted to share with you. Another thing I wanted to share with you is, what if you don't want that hive effect? Well, what if you used that timber? So in the past, I've made these Celebrate Sunflower cards many times, and in the past I've used like a wood grain, and I happen to like sunflowers and wood grain. It makes me think of barns and farms and happy country kind of things. So anyway, so this would be an option, the Timber 3D embossing folder, which you can get right now for free with a $50 qualifying purchase. Or this could look rather country as well. This is that, oh, what was the name of it? Was this Rings of Love? This was Rings of something. This is in the mini catalog right now. Anyway, this could, so it gives you that cut wood look. This would look really pretty with the sunflowers as well. We also have this fern embossing folder, which could be absolutely beautiful with the sunflowers. And then I just pulled this one because I thought, man, this could be kind of cool if the sunflower was like coming off of one side. This is one of our mini embossing folders. It comes with a dual. I can't remember what's in the other half. Oh, eucalyptus, I believe. Anyway, you could do this off of the edge of a card, or even, I don't know. Anyway, there's lots of options is what I'm trying to tell you. Then for bees, we have two different stamp sets right now that have bees. We have Splendid Thoughts, which is in the mini catalog, which means it's only available through the end of December. But there's this smaller bee. Or we've got Honeybee Home, and there's 3 bees. So if you really wanted a bee on your card, you have some options, and you might already have these in your arsenal. Your arsenal, you like that? In your toolbox. How about if we say that? All right, now let's get started. So I have, wherever possible, I have pre-stamped, or excuse me, not pre-stamped, I have pre-cut or pre-embossed whatever I could. But in this case, because I'm going to do a little bit of coloring on here, I have not die cut my flower or my leaves, and then this is fussy cut. But everything else is cut and prepared and ready to go. So this card is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, and it's a top fold card, so it will sit like this. It's a tent fold. Okay? I'm gonna get another sip of water. I do not have air conditioning in this room, so I have 2 fans running. So I'm sure that's contributing to this little bit of dry throat because I feel absolutely fine. All right, here's the stamp set that I'm using. Celebrate Sunflowers. There are 4 sentiments. There's 2 different sunflower images, and there's 2 different sets of leaves. So this is a red rubber, oh well, everything is pre-mounted on blocks. Guess I'm gonna need a soothing drop here. And then here are some of the dies, and here are the other 2 dies. So there's this detail die, which I did not use today, which is absolutely beautiful even when it's layered on top of this. There's these beautiful greenery pieces. I chose today to go with just these 2 pieces where I stamped and then colored them in and cut them out, because I really wanted to let this hive kind of be a focal point, as well as that large yellow sunflower. I could have gone more complicated, trust me, I have in the past. Okay, soothing drop going in, and so I'm going to go ahead and start with the stamping and the coloring and the die cutting, because then everything goes together right after that. Set this so you can see it. There's my pieces for wanting to make sure. I've done this in the past where I made a mistake and I grabbed what was supposed to be a section for the inside of the card, where I've accidentally used that for my stamping and cutting. All right. Have all the pieces that I need to keep separate over to one side. So here's what I'm going to stamp with. So there's some beautiful things you can do with this. You could stamp this in green and color it in. You could stamp this in black and leave it black and white. You could stamp this in, I have used early espresso, so dark brown, on very vanilla cardstock and used that for thank you cards, and they were very, very simple stamping. In this case, today, I am using basic gray because I wanted something that was there, but it didn't have the punch of black. I really wanted something that the color kind of stood for itself. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to stamp first my large sunflower and then 3 leaves. The sentiment I stamped in Old Olive. So basic gray. And isn't that beautiful? It really gives it kind of a sketchy appearance. I mean, I don't mean sketchy as in bad. I mean sketchy as in it looks like somebody has hand drawn that with a pencil. I love it. Then I need 3 of these leaves. There. And I'm going to color all of those before, oh, let me grab my message liner for the inside. Go ahead and stamp. So I'm going to do one in the bottom corner and one in the top corner. Let's see, I think I'm going to after I stamped my sample one, I knew I really wished I would have done it a little bit different, so I'm doing it different for this card. I've got one leaf pointing this direction, and I'm going to do another leaf pointing the other direction. There we go. That'll be pretty. That way I'll do all my coloring at the same time. Set all my stamps out of the way. All right, here we go. So I am going to first lay down a layer of light So Saffron with the brush tip all over these petals. Oh, did I grab the wrong pen? That's too bad. Okay, friends, I've grabbed my old pen and I need to grab the new one. Hold on just a moment. I really thought I had already opened this. The tip on my old one is frayed. It's the very end of its life. And it's not going to, it'd be one thing for me to use it not on camera, but it's a whole nother thing for me to use it on camera. Here, this will go much better now. See, nice new tip. Now I can go in and color this much quicker. And I'm not worried about this color kind of overlapping into the base here. So what I am doing is I'm laying down what I'm going to float the rest of my colors on. And I am going to use light and dark Daffodil Delight. I'm laying down light So Saffron. I am going to use light and dark Cajun Craze. Oh, and I'm going to use light Pumpkin Pie to add just a little bit of depth of color inside these petals. So just as fast as I am coloring all of these in, this is how fast I'm going to go for everything. You're not going to see me doing a whole bunch of super tight, intricate coloring. All right, so there's our base color. Then I am going to come in with my light Pumpkin Pie. I'm going to use the brush tip, And to see where these little sketchy marks are, where like little creases or something in the petals, I am going to come in there and just add a little bit. I'm not going to follow every single one of them. Because it's actually going to get blended out, so you can't even barely tell that I added it in the first place. So I'm just adding a little bit of depth of color. And if I skip one, it's okay, right? Picture these flowers dancing in the sunlight in a field. They're going to look different every single time. See, you can't even tell in this one that I did that. So next, I am going to come in with my light Cajun Craze. I'm going to use the brush tip. And I am going to color in this whole center flower. And I'm going to try to not hit those petals, as well as try to not hit my noggin on the camera, which I have a tendency to do. So I'm just going to fill this whole thing in with the light Cajun Craze. Then I am going to take the bullet tip of the dark Cajun Craze, and I am going to outline over the top of that light Cajun Craze. And I know that looks like a really dark ring, doesn't it? But I'm going to blend that in. I'm going to use the brush tip, and where you see it a little bit darker in the center, I'm just going to apply some of the dark. Going to come back in using the brush tip of the light Cajun Craze, and I'm going to start on that outer edge and blend towards the center. So I'm trying to pick up that darker and move it or blend it, float it towards the center. I just realized when I showcased the gnomes the other night, you had to watch me do a lot of coloring too. I promise I will make this as quick as possible. All right, I'm going to leave that for just a minute. Kind of let that do its thing. I'm going to pick up my light Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to use the brush tip. And I'm just going to go in and start filling in over that pumpkin pie and So Saffron. And you're going to see me add some of the dark Daffodil Delight here in a bit too. I am trying to not hit this Cajun Craze that's in the center because I don't want to pick it up and move it towards the petals. If I did, I know how to go back and fix it, but it would be nice to not have to spend that time doing that. So again, this is the light Daffodil Delight. And I'm using that to blend out that pumpkin pie on that light So Saffron. And if I leave any little bits of blank spot, it's okay, right? Picture these dancing in the sunlight in a field or in your backyard. I have had a yard big enough to grow a big old crop of sunflowers. I don't currently. All right, now I'm going to come back in with my dark Daffodil Delight. I'm going to use the bullet tip, and I'm going to start adding, oh, that was the brush tip. I'm going to start adding some shading, just a little bit. So I'm going to come in, and wherever I know that something would have a shadow, I'm adding that darker yellow. And I don't need to be exact. Can you see this starting to come to life? See the difference between this side and that side? Just by adding that shadow. And I'm not being worried about coloring anything in perfectly. You could. And I definitely have examples where in the past I have. But in this case, that wasn't what I was going for. Now, who would have ever thought that you could use Daffodil Delight as a shadow? But you certainly can on a sunflower. And because Stampin' Up! Has given us this beautiful image that already has all this shadowing on it, right? Okay, so I'm going to move this up so that you can see. See where I've got a little bit of light around here? I'm going to come in with my dark, and I'm going to add some depth by adding some concentrated color. I'm going right up to that Cajun Craze. And then probably should smooth that out towards the petals. And then I'm going to add one more ring to the Cajun Craze for depth. So the dark bullet tip, and I'm going to try to not hit those petals because I don't want to make this bleed into the petals. So you know how the center of the sunflower kind of has a mounded center? That's what I'm doing here. And it looks like my center here needs a little bit more color. All right. There is my sunflower. To color these leaves, I'm actually going to mix two different color families. So I'm going to lay down, well, not families, but they're in the same color family, but two different colors. I'm going to use light old olive for the base color. I'm going to come in with light mossy meadow for some shading, and then go back over it with the light old olive. So I'm just going to do all three at the same time. And these are brand new pens. So they're pretty juicy. So do any of you have sunflowers that you've planted? One of my daughters has planted them and to get the sunflower seeds for birds. Almost done with the base color on these leaves. Stampin' Up! Really does make some very beautiful stamps where you don't have to recreate the wheel. You just need to envision it and enhance it. I'm going to use the brush tip to very lightly, this is the light mossy meadow, I'm just going to come up the center very lightly and add just a little bit. This is going to look very harsh until I blend it out. And these do not need to be exactly the same. I almost used Granny Apple Green, but I wasn't getting the desired effect. I did several samples ahead of time. Back to the light old olive, and I'm going to start in the dark and work out towards the edges. And it's just blending it all together. And it looks dark at the moment, but it will lighten up. So starting in the center of the dark and moving out towards the edges. And one more time, oops. Just went out the line just a little bit right there. And that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it because I can probably hide it when I create my arrangement on the front of the card. Okay, so I'm just going to watch that for a second and see if I need to do any more blending. Still maybe a little bit right here. All right, setting those aside, taking all those pens and getting them out of my space. I've gone a little bit longer than I thought I was going to. It's all right. Oh. And I'm glad I didn't put those pens too far because I do need to color the inside of my card. Let's see. Looks like I'm not quite centered yet here. Huh. That's funny. Normally I'm able to nail this pretty quick. There we go. There we go. Oh, whoa, whoa, so sorry. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I can actually see the gray line on all sides. I'm using Post-it tape to hold my die in place. Looks like I need another piece. Because I don't have a magnetic plate at the moment. I have one leaf die, so I'm going to have to cut it 3 times. I'm not going to bring my die cutting machine over here. I'm just going to take this over there and cut it because I would have to, I don't have a way of moving my camera up and down, and my die cutting machine would be like this close and you wouldn't be able to see anything. So I'm going to step away for just a moment. So we've cut the flower and one leaf. Now I've got to cut 2 more leaves. So this Post-it tape comes right off, doesn't damage anything. And look, there's our beautiful flower. And one of our leaves. They're looking a little bit darker than my original set of leaves. I did change pens. I thought I wanted to use the newer pens, but that's okay. I think it's going to be nice and rich and beautiful looking. So, stepping away. And one more. All right, we now have 3 leaves. I'm going to put my dies right back on their magnet sheet, which is just the best way to make sure I don't lose anything. Everything's accounted for. All right, next we are going to adhere. Whew, had to put the hair up in a pony. Okay, next we are going to start adhering some layers. That's funny. I know that I accounted for, oh, it's stamped. It's right here somewhere. I accidentally set it right in my stamp case. All right. I want to make sure I get the right ones going here. I do. So I am going to adhere my embossed piece to my mat. I'm going to use multi-purpose adhesive because I like that it gets down in this side of that design. That's my reason for it. You do whatever you prefer. Some people like the Stampin' Seal. I don't seem to have an accurate aim with Stampin' Seal, or not Stampin' Seal. What's it called? Seal Plus, Seal something. Yeah, Stampin' Seal. I was calling it the right thing. I like to have the time to wiggle something into place, and I don't seem to have very good aim. I'm going to turn that over and give it a nice little press. I have a little bit of adhesive right here. There we go. I think I got it off with my thumbnail. After my card is put together, I'll keep watch. If I still have any of that exposed, I do have a way of removing that from the front of my card. Let's set these aside. I am going to take my card base that was 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. It's a top fold card. I'm going to burnish that fold line. Going to, now this might look like I did something crooked, but this piece, well, let me tell you for sure. So the old olive that I'm using as a mat is 3 7/8 by, it should be 5 1/8, it is 5 1/8. The white piece was 3 3/4 by 5 before I embossed it. When I embossed it, it didn't shrink as much from side to side as it did from top to bottom. So that's why you see some of this whiter at the top and bottom. If I had been on my game, I could have adjusted the measurement probably by 1/8 of an inch. Excuse me, 1/16 of an inch. And it probably would have lined up slightly better. But I would like to think that nobody's even going to see it because of that beautiful sunflower. Everybody should be looking at the sunflower and not the perimeter of my mat. So I'm just holding that in place for a moment. A lot of times I use dimensionals, but because underneath my mat piece, between my card base and my mat, I'm not today because there's already this beautiful texture that's raised up, right? And then we're going to put dimensionals behind my flower and attach my leaves. So that's why I'm not. I want to apply one leaf about like this. I will explain myself in just a moment. When I attached, so normally I put my flowers down and then go in and put in my leaves. When I did that with my base card, my sample card, I had dimensionals in the way. So let's see. She's gonna go just about like that. All right. So now with these two pieces together, I can put my dimensionals on here. If I get hold of them, there we go. One in the center, I'm putting one behind that leaf. The other two leaves are going to be adhered down to the card front. All right. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to remove those backs. Which is being a little persnickery. Oops. So this is going to sit something about like, I thought this one was a little high, so I'm gonna bring this one down just a little bit. Then I'm going to use 2 mini glue dots on the back of each of these leaves. So this one is going to get tucked in here. And then, yeah, I didn't like how this one was pointing off to one side, so I wanted to make sure I fixed the angle. There we go. Okay, next. For the front of our card, we need a sentiment. This is a scrap piece of cardstock. I am going to use the Let's Celebrate You. I'm going to stamp that in Old Olive. Believe it or not, this card is becoming very close to done. We have a couple little steps left to do, but none of them are earth-shattering. And I'm going to fussy cut that. Oops. Watching the clock, I've got to get my husband to the dealership to pick up his car. My husband stayed home today, he was out running an errand and picked up a nail in his tire, and they had a back log. Let's see if I turn this way so that I can see. They had a back log, so he had to leave his car. So honey, if you're watching, I'm watching the camera. I mean the clock, the camera. And can you even see what I'm doing? So when you fussy cut, if you picture, when you were in elementary school, did you ever draw a bubble around your name? I did. Drew a bubble around my name, and then drew another bubble around that, and then drew another bubble around that. And if I was lucky, I had one of those pens that every time you clicked it, it had a different color of ink in it. So each bubble had a different color. Anyway, when you're fussy cutting something like this, if you think about that little bubble all the way around. Almost done with the fussy. Ooh, almost got too close there. So I'm just kind of dipping in between each letter. And don't forget, this is going to be, this white background this is stamped on, this is going to be on a white background, right? So I don't have to be exact. And you basically keep your scissors in one place and just keep moving your paper. Some people hate fussy cutting, but I love the look of this particular stamp, this particular sentiment, fussy cut. And I think I've never not fussy cut this one. Almost done. And the home stretch. Boom. There we go. I'd say that is good enough. Get these scraps out of the way. Let's get some dimensionals on the back of that, which I apparently set down. Somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, I have this leftover frame, and I'm going to use, let's see, I have to be strategic here. There's that one. This might be too wide. Ooh, it's not. Maybe. Nope. One more little piece. All right, take those backers off. So what do you think? Does this make you feel better if you didn't get the paper pumpkin? I hope so. Let's just set this here, hopefully straight. I'm going to grab that linen thread. Oh, did I just cut my nail? No, but I came close. And I haven't forgotten about the inside. Just wanted to finish the outside first. So pull those tails and make this even. There we go. And I'm just going to cut those tails like that. I'm going to give this a nice little tug so that it's nice and a nice tight little knot. I'm going to use a mini glue dot to attach that to the front of the card. There we go. Then you're going to use my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to use that clay tip end to pick up my gems. I'm using the rustic metallic adhesive back dots. I'm going to use the small size. So I'm going to put one down here and one on the other side of the flower. And then one down here by the end of the sentiment. So the front is done. Now, quickie on the inside, right? We already stamped it. Where'd those pens go? So on those leaves, going to do exactly like I did on the leaves on the front. Light old olive base, just a little bit of the light mossy meadow and then back over with the light old olive. Going to use that light so saffron on those, oops, the wrong pen again. With those petals, gonna just lay down that color real quick. And because these are only partial flowers and much, much smaller, this flower would be beautiful on the front of an envelope as well. Going to take the light Cajun Craze, and I'm going to use the bullet tip because this is so much smaller. Actually, there we go. Just going to be careful. And I'm not going to apply all the layers like I did on the outside. I am going to do the ring in the dark, but going to go in with the light Daffodil Delight and just give these a bump. Almost. Going to take that dark Daffodil Delight. I'm going to use the bullet tip, and I'm going to go around the outside of that Cajun Craze. I'm going to try not to hit the inside of the Cajun Craze because I don't want it to bleed out. They will blend together if I let them touch. So I've just gone in and I've added that little bit, and then on every other flower here, I'm going to just hit that little bit of shading. Same thing on the second flower now. Okay, there we go. And then one last hit of the dark Cajun Craze in that ring. So what do you think? Do you like this stamped with the gray? I do. Use that brush tip to just slightly blend that ring with the light Cajun Craze to the dark, from the dark to the light. And here, this is now ready to be adhered to an Old Olive mat. Friends, I hope that you have enjoyed, number one, a little bit of a review of what paper pumpkin is, since I've never really taken the time to show anybody that. And then also the explanation of, or the example of how if you missed out on that paper pumpkin for August that had the sunflowers, how you can still make sunflower cards using stamp set, etc. that is available. We will adhere this to the inside. Did I get it on there? Nope. Yay, got lucky. And there, that is on the inside. See, isn't that a prettier inside than this one? This one was okay. This one's better. It's just laid out better. And I think the front of this one is laid out better too. Okay, friends. Oh, let's see. I was going to bring back over the two cards, the two paper pumpkin cards that we made. So here are the paper pumpkin cards, and then here's the card that we made using the stamp set. Friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you all immensely. Thank you for taking your time to spend with me. I hope I've inspired you. If you have any questions, please reach out to stampwithteah, all one word, @gmail.com. And thank you again for joining me. Big, big hugs.